Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another transformational reading here with Transform with Rian. And in today's reading, we are going to find out something special about your future spouse. So take a look at these three piles here and see which one is calling you the most to reveal something special about your future spouse. We're going to begin with group number one. Hello there, group number one, and welcome to your reading to find out something special about your future spouse. Like, what's so special about them? What's so great? And to open up your reading, we have Black Widow. Look twice, leap once. So we'll talk about these here in just a moment. Let's just reveal them all for now. We also have Salmon, Determination. You know where you are going and you will get there. I'm already getting like a pretty good sense of what special characteristics your future spouse has. And we also have Stop Worrying. Stop worrying, surrender your worry and fear to the divine. Imagine yourself feeling happy and stress-free. The universe will follow your positive thoughts and vision. Oh, lovely. So with these first cards here, and we'll get some tarot out as well, it's very easy to see that your future spouse is actually this type of person that's very well organized, and they are a planner. They plan things out. So this look twice, leap once, it's in their kind of mentality, it's like just do it right the first time. You know what I'm saying? They're not that type of person to be in a rush or to be like hasty is the word that I'm hearing. They're very methodical, and this is where the stop worrying part comes in, is because, you know, they feel and they think that having a good plan, having a solid idea of what to do, what's going on, how to handle things, really alleviates a lot of that stress and that worrying. So that's why they're so big on planning. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they were like an earth sign. I'm getting like really strong earth vibes here, despite the fish here represented by the salmon. I'm really getting a lot of earth vibes here. Someone who's, you know, very grounded, again, very organized, very methodical. The type of person that really looks at life as sort of like a step-by-step process, you know, and I'm really getting here that with the help of this salmon card, that they're this type of person that nothing looks really intimidating to them as far as like goals, dreams, vision, you know, for your life, for their life. It doesn't seem very like intimidating to them because they break things down, you know, and they said, okay, well, that's what I want, and this is how I'm going to get there. Like, that's just how they view life. And so they really don't have a lot of worries. I think the thing that maybe throws them off at times is when things get a little bit wild and crazy, like this river here that the salmon is like swimming against, this current is, you know, when things kind of get out of control, get out of hand, it really startles them perhaps, and kind of throws them off balance. But I'm getting the sense here that it's actually quite temporary. And, you know, yeah, they'll get thrown off balance, but it doesn't take much for them to just kind of like refocus, redirect, and be like, okay, so this happened. Now I still want to get there. What steps do I need to like work around this? I'm getting this like super fun vision of GPS on your phone. You know how sometimes when you're like space out or you're not sure, I don't know if this is just me, but sometimes I can't tell, like, am I supposed to turn here or am I supposed to turn at the next one? Because, you know, I don't have the best sense of like length and distance, and so it's like turn right in 1,000 feet, and I like have no idea how much 1,000 feet looks like, and so sometimes I turn too early or sometimes I miss the turn, right? And what does the GPS do? It immediately like reroutes you so you can kind of get back on track. And I see your future spouse as having that type of personality where, you know, if they miss a step, if something doesn't go according to their plan, you know, their grand design, their grand scheme, it's like, okay, rerouting, you know, it's like, it doesn't frazzle them or stress them out for very long. And as I'm looking at this Black Widow card as well, I'm also seeing, you know, Black Widow is a spy. And so she has to go like undercover and stay kind of hidden in the shadows. And, of course, she has a plan and she has a strategy at first, but sometimes you just gotta think on the fly, right? And sometimes some things happen that are unexpected. But I don't really get the sense that the Black Widow is ever that kind of person that tends to really lose her cool. I think she in general is very like level-headed, very cool, calm, collected, that kind of collection of characteristics. And I'm also getting the sense too, now that I'm saying this, that if there is ever an emergency going on, like you definitely would want your future spouse to be around, because they're the type of person that will keep everything together and keep that level-headedness to navigate the situation as it kind of unravels, right? And then get everybody back on track. So that clear-headedness is really amazing. And I'm also hearing too, like Black Widow's like super flexible, right? She can do all those like amazing martial arts moves and like very agile as well, where she can kind of like flip and jump and crawl and roll and dive and do all those kinds of things um, at the blink of an eye, at a drop of a hat. Um, so that's highlights the flexibility of your future spouse. Um, and, especially with like so much uncertainty and things going kind of bonkers in the world these days, I think this is like that's an amazing trait for your future spouse to have, and I feel like you would benefit a lot, and so will others, with having their sort of energy around. So let's see what other special things we can find out about your future spouse here with the tarot. So you have Six of Wands, the Hierophant, Seven of Coins, Nine of Wands, Temperance, and the Moon. So what I'm seeing here with the Six of Wands, your future spouse really does achieve quite a lot in life. And again, I wouldn't even say it's that they're like the best at something, that they constantly are number one and they have this sort of innate talent, although they may have some talents, right? It's just that their success isn't limited to the things that they're talented in. It's really because they work hard and they work diligently. I'm also seeing with the Hierophant card is that your future spouse really has a good understanding of how a lot of things work. They do their research, their due diligence. That's where that kind of planning aspect of their personality comes out, is they do their research, and so they come quite prepared. And as I say that too, I'm getting the sense that your future spouse probably did really well in traditional schools, with that structure. They probably do really well on standardized tests because you can prepare for those things, right? You can go to practice courses, you can take practice exams, and then kind of learn how to be successful with those types of tests, those types of courses. So that's part of their skill sets. We have Seven of Coins. I'm not getting anything too strong from that just yet. But with the Nine of Wands, we see this girl here who looks like she's kind of lost in the woods here, and then there's this sort of wall of skeleton head or skulls, I should say, burning skulls. And I get the energy from this is going back to, kind of having plans being derailed and the GPS with rerouting. And I feel like that's what your future spouse is like there's this barrier or there's this pathway that's closed off to them, and they're not like scared or intimidated at all by it, even if there's like scary skulls. It's like once they have their mindset, they are determined. It's like, I know where I'm going, and I know that it's not going to be an easy like open path all the way there. I know there's going to be some hurdles, some obstacles. Doesn't matter. I'm going to work my way around it. I'm not going to be, intimidated or deterred from getting where I want. This like I for better or for worse, your future spouse can very much have this sort of one track mind, right? It's like, this is what I'm doing, and like, I'm gonna keep moving until I get there, and then I'll think about other things, or then I'll focus on other stuff. And so I'm seeing here too that they're a type of person that's not so easily distracted, which is, I think, a very rare trait these days, especially with so much stimulus coming in through our phones, right? And the world around us. Like, a lot of people, their attention kind of wanders so easily. And many more people are getting diagnosed with things like ADD, ADHD, and the focus isn't really there in that single-mindedness. But your future spouse has that skill. With temperance, I really see here, looking at this holy kind of Buddhist figure, that there's just this energy of calm about them. Again, doesn't really take, or I should say, it takes a lot to get them feeling rattled or off their game. They're quite adaptable. And interestingly enough, I'm also seeing with all these objects here, it's kind of like they can process a lot of information really quickly. And if necessary, they can multitask. Okay? It's not kind of, that's not their MO. They don't necessarily like to do a bunch of different things at one time. Like, I get this as they're that type of person that likes to focus on one thing at a time. But if the situation calls for it, they can juggle more things at a time than the usual person. With the moon here, I'm seeing too that they do have an intuitive side to them. It's almost like this feeling of memory. Like, I'm watching this show right now, this Korean drama. Let me know in the comments down below if you like Korean dramas, called Extraordinary Attorney Woo. And it's been out for a while now, and I'm like just kind of late to the game, but it's actually a really, really well done series in my opinion. It has like a lot of heartwarming moments, has a lot of comedy, makes you really think about how you view certain real world situations as well. So I think all around it's an amazing K-drama, and I can see why it got so many accolades and so much recognition and high ratings. But in any case, in that story, the main character is on the autistic spectrum, but she has this photographic memory. And that trait I see to varying degrees for your future spouse, where they read something once or they learn something once and they just don't forget it. And they can call upon these things that they read or learned to apply in a lot of different situations. So sometimes it may seem like intuition because maybe they don't know exactly where they read this, or they don't have the quite the recollection of how they know how to do something. Like, they can't remember exactly the title of the book or the day they read it or the day they learned it. Like, not that detailed, but they still remember the information, like the important part, and they can apply it when the situation calls for it. Yeah, so it's kind of like consciously they have this vague remembrance of something deep within their subconscious that has been stored there. So they might say things like, I don't remember where I read this or where I heard this, but I know that we have to do XYZ, or I know it's around this building, whatever, right? I get the sense that they probably say that a lot or experience that type of memory, quite often. So what is going on with this Seven of Coins? Like, nothing is really coming through for me. So can we get a clarifier here so I can like pass this message on to group one? Page of Swords. Okay, so now it's coming very, very clear to me. So what I'm seeing here with the fire is that there's this passion and this thirst for knowledge within them. I take it that's why they're such a great planner, because they just care to know a lot of things, right? They care to know all the details. So they have no problem with researching and studying things for like hours on end. It can become a bit obsessive, right? Maybe even compulsive at times. I don't get the sense that they're one to do spontaneous stuff. Like they really are planners through and through. And maybe you're a little bit opposite of that, or some of their friends are a little bit more opposite, where they're just like, free as a feather and just going with the flow, and can kind of loosen them up, and get them out of being so rigid, right? So, in any case, these are some of the special and wonderful things about your future spouse. I hope you enjoyed learning more about them. And if you enjoyed your reading, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, loves. Hi there, Group 2. Welcome to your reading to find out something special about your future spouse. What's special about them? What's unique about them? Let's dive into your reading. So, first out, we have Wolverine, like super popular, super classic Marvel hero. When I'm alone, I'm in great company. And we'll reveal these cards, and then we'll get some tarot out as well afterward. So also have a possum, strategy, have a backup plan. Interesting. This vibe is a little bit similar to what was coming through for group 1. We also have purity. Your pure thoughts will reach the divine. Keep your thoughts crystal clear. Focus on your loving thoughts and cherish it. Purity of the heart is the gateway to the divine. Oh my gosh, how beautiful a characteristic and trait is this for your future spouse. So let's start with that, because I'm just really so in love with the energy of that card right now. And with the purity, what I'm really feeling with your future spouse is going kind of actually working in tandem with this opossum here. Your future spouse is a very pure spirit, a very pure soul. They really aren't malicious people. They don't have these like hidden agendas and ulterior motives here. Like when I'm seeing the word strategy, it's really kind of like anti-strategy, in the sense that they're not like opportunistic, they're not manipulative, they're not selfish, where they kind of focus really like, how are things gonna benefit me? They don't really have that mindset at all. As I'm thinking about that, I'm like seeing this image of this possum like carrying her babies around, like how they kind of like cling to her and they like ride on her back and stuff. I don't know if you've seen pictures like that of possums. But I'm seeing that kind of image where it's like that phrase where a rising tide raises all ships. I don't know if you ever heard that before. Have you heard of like a rising tide raises all ships? Meaning like we can all experience success when things are beneficial. It doesn't have to be like one person hogging all the success, or, stepping on top of other people. Like the tide will bring all people up. As the tide goes up, all the ships will go up, all the people will be raised and elevated. So they're definitely like, this team player, community-minded individual. So I'm definitely sensing some strong like Aquarius energies as well, because Aquarians are like, they have a really strong sense of humanitarianism and like for the greater good. I'm also actually feeling some strong Cancer vibes as well. Cancer energy is very caring. Cancer at its core is also about like family ties, family connections. Okay, so I'm really feeling that energy. Let me kind of see if I'm getting any other energy from the zodiac. There's a little bit of Libra energy I'm feeling as well, because Libra is very much focused and concerned about others, keeping the peace, doing what's right, and so I'm getting that kind of energy as well. So perhaps they have that sun sign or even rising sign. Maybe they even have like kind of a collection of birth planets in one of those signs or in like a combination of those signs. So I'm really getting this beautiful energy coming from them where you can trust this person, and in general, actually, not just you, but in general, they're very trustworthy. Like you don't have to worry about them, you know, kind of skimping you. Like you can trust them, like, okay, I'm gonna give you the money and then you just make sure you divide it up properly, or make sure you buy this thing or get the best deal on it, right? Like you can trust them with it. You can give them, you know, your house keys and trust that they won't lose them or go in and snoop through your stuff or like take things, right? Like very, very, very trustworthy person. And, you know, more often than not, I get the sense too, like they're always have good intentions towards other people, and by their actions, their words, that type of thing. Now, what I'm seeing here with When I'm Alone, I'm in Great Company, I'm really getting this vibe that your future spouse is someone that's not very clingy, not very needy. Like, I'm getting the sense that they're, in general, very low maintenance. You know, they're pretty self sufficient. And so you don't have to worry too much about, you know, if you're not around, if your future spouse is gonna, you know, sleep well, if they're gonna get bored, if they're not gonna eat well. Like, there's nothing like that at all. Like, they're a very independent type of person. Like, they can definitely take care of themselves. And it's interesting is like they do really well taking care of other people, but they also do really well taking care of themselves. And sometimes it almost seems like it's a bit imbalanced because they again are very low maintenance. They don't need a lot of things, but yet they do so much for other people, right? And they're really happy with this. Really just like beautiful, beautiful energy I am getting from your future spouse group too. Like it's amazing to like honestly. Um, Now what I'm also getting from Wolverine is your future spouse can be kind of intimidating to some people. And it's not intimidating because they're scary. Like, you know, they have like RBF. It's not like that at all. It's really that they have it so together um, that, you know, some people feel like they're a hot mess next to them. You know what I'm saying? So they're a little bit intimidating that way. Because they just are so, they just have it so put together, you know? What do we have here with your tarot cards? Let's center them a bit more. We have the Two of Coins, we have the Empress, Eight of Wands, Page of Cups, Nine of Swords, and King of Wands. Let me just go to this Empress card right away because this is confirmation of this purity here. So with this Empress, like what we have represented here is the Virgin Mary. And so it's just this very pure, giving, kind, caring, compassionate being. And with the Empress card, it speaks of to abundance, kind of like no restrictions. It's like the ultimate nurturing divine feminine energy where it's not about punishment and like who deserves what. It's like, no, I will care for everyone. I will not judge. You know, that's that energy that I have from them. Very, very, very nurturing individual. Now, what else do we have? Let's take a look here. Eight of Swords. Okay, so this is really interesting to see. I'm feeling like there's this period in your future spouse's past, like maybe it was in childhood, where they did feel quite lonely. I'm feeling that that could even be a bit of like a hidden or deep pain within them. Maybe when they were younger, they really had to learn how to survive on their own and take care of themselves, you know? Maybe they were an only child, maybe they, you know, didn't live in a big city or a big town. Maybe, you know, their parents worked so much to put food on the table or whatever, and so they had to learn how to take care of themselves because their parents work late, and You know, their parents weren't always around to like do things for them or give them a lot of attention. And so I feel like they had to adapt in in order to survive and kind of just make it through. And you know, on the outside, again, they look very put together, right? And they look very self-sufficient. They look very content. But I feel like inside there is this kind of like old past hurt and pain of like not having company, not having friends, not feeling cared and loved for. That could be even the driving force of why they put attention on other people, because they give out so much of what they didn't have because they don't want anyone to feel that same way. Um, and they've just had to adapt, you know, in order to make it through, in order to survive. And so that's why they're so accustomed to and okay with being lonely. But deep down, I think there's still that longing. And I have the sense that honestly, you fulfill that for them, okay? I mean, you are their spouse, right? You're gonna be their spouse, their partner. And so I really get the sense that you fulfill that need in them to know that someone cares for them. And the thing is, they don't need a lot, you know, it's not like they need whatever, like hundreds of friends, millions of followers on Instagram or anything like that. Not that I think Instagram is a big deal to them in any case, but they really don't need a lot to bring even more happiness into their life. Like little things that you do to show you care and that you're thinking of them mean the world to them, okay? Um, I really feel, you know, in those romantic songs, those love songs where it's like, all I need is just you, and you brighten up my life, you brighten up my day, you make it all worth it. Like those kind of sentiments and feelings, like your future spouse definitely has those thoughts and feelings towards you. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so right now you're kind of like my favorite reading so far, group two. Don't tell any of the other groups that, but you are my favorite reading. What else do we have here? So we have Nine of Swords. And what I'm feeling here with the Nine of Swords is we have these people here on the bottom who are like anxious and worried and fearful. And we also have this calmer figure up here. This is about the Oracle of Delphi. And so I feel your future spouse is more this energy, calm and at peace with whatever life throws their way. Versus worried and anxious about what the future holds for them. I get the sense that they they don't tend to freak out much, to be honest. You know, I think because maybe of their upbringing, what we were talking about, like they have a really tough spirit, very resilient energy about them. And that's what I'm kind of getting here. King of Wands, I'm getting that your future spouse actually has a lot of energy. I'm feeling that they like to actually be quite busy, to be honest, what I'm getting here. They like to be doing a lot of things. And they probably have a lot of like projects that they do at home. Maybe they even have a hobby that they're really into. And I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I'm seeing people who like build those ships that are within the bottles. I don't even know if people do that anymore these days. Or people who build like model airplanes, or they do like 1,000 piece, 5,000 piece puzzles. Or even if they just like to build things for the house. I don't know, like bird feeders. I'm thinking of like the classic wood shop case. Like I don't know what else other people kind of like build around their homes. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know because I'm definitely not that person. But I feel like they like to be busy. They have a lot of energy. They like to have projects to work on. Maybe they even like working on old cars and like rebuilding them. What is the word for that? I hearing the word refurbish. I'm like, that's so not the word. Maybe they even like those those fixer upper kind of houses. They like doing those kind of projects and flipping them kind of thing. Whatever it is, I get the sense that your future spouse likes to build things, like has this kind of hobby. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays I feel like it's even like virtual, you know, like how you can build cities like Sim City, you can build kingdoms online and whatever. Like there's all these mobile games where you like build communities and civilizations and whatever. And I feel like they're really into that kind of stuff. It kind of reminds me of this game that used to be so popular where you're like a farmer, you know, or that game for like from Nintendo, Animal Crossing. Yeah, like you know, they kind of have that personality, that kind of hobby. Anyways, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now we have the Page of Cups. I definitely sense that there's this romantic side to your future spouse when it comes to their special someone, aka you, that they do really think about you and think about ways that can make your life easier, and ways in which they can demonstrate, you know, that they care for you. So they're very, very thoughtful in that way. Oh my gosh, I'm just like falling so in love with your future spouse here, and their personality. Not like in love, like I know they're your future spouse, but I'm just saying, you know, just the type of person they are is just so gorgeous. Two of Coins here. I just see this mother who has her two children that are like half bear, you know, and sometimes people would be alarmed by that or like abandon the child, but this mother is caring for her children like the best type of mother could. And you have this Empress energy as well with this mother energy here. And I just feel like they are such kind, caring soul, very, very non-judgmental, super accepting. And you know, with you, what I'm getting, it's kind of like in their eyes, like they accept you 100%. There's nothing about you that they would want to change or that, you know, they hate or dislike. Like they really are accepting of you. And to an extent, they're very much accepting of other people as well. But you know, they're such a kind person that I don't think they do well with injustice or mistreatment or abuse. Like they don't do really well with those types of situations. But in general, they're very accepting of people, non-judgmental. So I think they actually, despite whatever intimidating nature they may or impression they might give to certain people, they actually are very welcoming and very open, you know. So I hope you enjoyed your reading. It was so lovely to do this group too. Again, one of my favorite readings I've done. And I hope you like it. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and share this video with others. And I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading to find out something special about your future spouse. Things that make them special, unique, beautiful qualities that they may have. So let's start your reading. To open it up, we have Nightcrawler. In my eyes, I am beautiful. This is lovely. And let's reveal all the cards and then we'll get some tarot as well. Okay. So you also have Badger with Perseverance. Dig in and see it through to completion. And then we also have It's Right There. You will find what you are looking for. It's hard to see what's under your nose. Change your perspective, open your eyes. It is right here in front of you. So what I am seeing here and receiving as far as like information goes is your future spouse, what's really good about them is that they're very comfortable within their own skin, okay? Like we have this character, Nightcrawler, who has blue skin, like this devil tail, pointy ears, 3 digits on, you know, hands and feet. So very peculiar appearance, right? And most people would really shy away or be very introverted, maybe even develop like low self-esteem if they don't necessarily meet society's expectations as far as, you know, career, looks, monetary wealth, social status, right? Like that kind of thing. But I feel like your future spouse like isn't really that type of person to put a lot of weight or a lot of thought into what other people think of them. And it's not even this air of arrogance about them. And I don't even know if I would necessarily say confidence. It's really more about comfortable. Like they are comfortable with who they are. They're not trying to be somebody else. Nor do they have the desire to be somebody else just to make other people happy or comfortable or accepting of them. It's kind of like, well, this is who I am. And if you're not really into it, like, okay, that's fine. Like, no harm, no foul. I'm not going to be upset about it because I know who I am, right? And I have people in my life who accept me for who I am. I don't need everyone's approval kind of vibe, you know? And, you know, in this day and age where so many people are, you know, looking at social media and being influenced on how they should live their life, how they should look, how they should dress, how they should speak, whatever. Like, I think this is a very rare trait to have and a very wonderful and advantageous trait to have, you know? And I feel it's like healthy not to have your own sense of self-worth be dictated by others. So I get this sense that your future spouse has a very healthy self-esteem, you know? Now, some other traits that we're seeing here, we have perseverance. So your future spouse, I see here, is a very hard worker. And they work towards their goals. I don't get the sense that they are a quitter. I do get the sense though that they know when they need to rest. So I don't feel like they're, you know, Energizer bunny, and I don't get the sense that they're super stubborn. I just get the sense that they have like this beautiful pace when it comes to life, and that, you know, when it's time to work, they get things done. And if needed, they can kind of get that second wind to get things done. But in general, I think they do what they need to do and then they rest when they need to rest. You know, I get that sense that they have. I don't feel too like they really are someone to rush the process. I feel like they're that kind of steady paced person, you know? I see here too, with it's right there, that they are very observant, that they notice a lot of things. They notice a lot of maybe subtleties that other people might miss. Like, I feel like they would be someone who would notice fine details, like in a painting, in a movie. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm actually getting now, which is so interesting, is I don't know if you've ever seen those YouTube videos where they find these Easter eggs in like trailers and in like movies and TV show episodes, like these hidden Easter eggs. Like, I feel like your future spouse is that type of person that can see those hidden Easter eggs when it comes to just not even like trailers and movies and shows, just like life in general. So I'm also getting this sense here, which is kind of funny, that if you were ever to try to throw like a surprise party for your future spouse, it's gonna be quite the challenge. Like, again, I think very few things escape their attention, their notice. You know, they would probably make a really great security guard or like manager or shift supervisor, because things do not get past them, I am telling you. So I'm sure they'll still act surprised just to kind of keep face and let others know that the effort was appreciated. But, you know, they know what's up. They know that's very hard to fool them or trick them. So if you guys have kids together, like, oh my God, good luck to your children, because there was not gonna really be a lot of sneaky around them. Okay, so we have the Tower. Let's see what other tarot cards to find out other special and lovely things about your future spouse. We have 7 of Wands, 5 of Coins. This is so interesting, these cards that we're getting here, because they look on the surface like struggle bus central. But let's see what is actually behind all of these cards once we get them all revealed. Knight of Coins, King of Coins. Okay, so lots of earth energy coming through with your future spouse. So it very well could be the case that they are an earth sign, right? Their sun sign is in Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Or perhaps they have placements there, right? Like I always say on the channel. So placements, rising sign, could even be earth sign, you know, that type of thing. And lastly, you have the star. So let's dive into this set of cards here. So we have the King of Coins and the Knight of Coins, and Seven of Wands. So this is just reinforcing the fact that your future spouse is very hardworking. They're very patient. I mean, look at this turtle. Look at this like bull carabao looking creature. Very slow and steady, right? Slow and steady wins the race kind of energy here. And with Paul Bunyan, oh my God, not Paul. Oh, what is this character's name? It's Paul. I think it's Paul something, but it's the story of how, there was this people building the railroads back in the day, and there was this challenge to have like this machine race with this character whose name I'm blanking on, to see who can lay down the train track and dig this tunnel faster. And with strength, determination, and endurance, this person beat the machine. And the machine kind of like broke down or overheated. So I really feel like your future spouse has this stamina and endurance about them that is one of their strengths. When other people start to falter, want to give up, throw in the towel, like they get that second win, and they can really keep going to get the job done. Again, if necessary. I don't really get the sense that your future spouse is the type of person who, constantly overworks themselves or pushes themselves too far to the point of like burnout or extreme fatigue, but they can give that extra energy if needed. It's more for them is that steady pace. We also see, again, another figure that's very vigilant, on the lookout here. They can see a lot of things. They can see the bigger picture. They can notice the little intricacies and this pattern and tapestry of life, of circumstances, of situations. So super duper observant. What I'm seeing here too now with the King of Coins is your future spouse really has this vision for their life, and they want to build it from like the ground up. They want to nurture it and grow. Like, we all have goals and dreams of our life, and for many of us it kind of changes and it shifts, and maybe sometimes we even forget about them as we get into the hustle bustle daily grind. But I get the sense that your future spouse, like their dream, their vision for their life is kind of like their guiding star, right? Like maybe the vision for their life is like, I want to be able to retire by the time I'm 50. Right? And they will work hard to make that dream come true. Or I have this vision to travel around the world, visit all these various countries, and they make it happen. They take it day by day, step by step, and they will achieve this big vision for their life. Or maybe this big vision is like, I'm gonna start up this company that's gonna do amazing things for the world, the environment, like the people, whatever the case may be. And they get it. They do it. They work from the ground up. I'm gonna be in politics. I'm gonna affect real, honest, good, positive changes in my country, amongst my people, right? They have these dreams and they are not deterred by it. It's kind of like their anchor point for them, really. So as life kind of like throws them around, they hold on to this rope and this anchor to keep moving on their path. It's really quite commendable, to be honest. And the dream that they have too, I don't think is a very selfish one. I think they really include other people in their dreams, where it's like they want to do good, not just for themselves, but the people closest to them, or their community, that type of thing. Very, very like humanitarian, very family oriented, you know, those kind of vibes. So what do we have here with the Tower and the Five of Coins? I'm really tuning in to your future spouse. You know, they have this resilience and this endurance because something really difficult happened to them in the past. It could be like some shocking event, right? Like, I don't know, passing away of a loved one that wasn't expected. Maybe they lost a lot of money. Maybe they lost their job and had to start from scratch again. Maybe they lost their home, right? Maybe there was a terrible breakup in their past with an ex that really, you know, hurt them and had a profound effect on them, and really they had to struggle through it. But because of this innate stamina, endurance, and willpower that they had, they made it through. And I feel like it's kind of like sort of their testament to the strength of their character to have survived this. And they maybe even reflect on this, you know, misfortune or whatever you want to call it in their life as sort of like proof that, hey, if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything. You know, that's how they view things in this very positive, empowering light, even though it was very, very difficult for them, very, very challenging for them. I'm seeing here that, you know, they won't forget. I have this turtle, you know, who lives a very long life. I feel like the memory here is very strong. Like they remember things, and it's, you know, this triumph over whatever struggle they had and how they picked themselves back up and made it through. That's something that they will never forget, and it's their source of strength when they feel it wavering, you know. I'm getting like this story, like this vibe too of hearing, you know, stories of immigrant families who came to a country with nothing, and then they create, you know, something for themselves. They create a business that's successful. They, you know, even though they have nothing, they still provide for their family and children to like go to college, get a degree so that they can become successful. You know, the type of story I feel is very strong in your future spouse's lifetime and their life experience. So very, very strong character I have here. And perhaps, you know, going back to this part here about this comfortableness that they have about themselves, it's because, you know, they went through something very challenging before and they made it through. And it's kind of like, you know, no matter what anyone says about me, no matter what other people do or think, like, I know I'm successful. I know I can do it. And that's really what I need. That's all I need, right? And other people's support, if I have it, great. That will give me that extra boost. It's like icing on the cake. But I have all that I need within me as it is. Oh, wow. Very inspirational, this reading. I hope you really enjoyed hearing how special your future spouse is. So if you enjoyed this reading, before you go, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. I would really appreciate that. And I hope to do another reading for you very, very soon. So see you then. Bye, loves.